Hey everyone, it's Rod Santomassimo with the Massimo Show. And I got a really special guest today because not only is she a broker extraordinaire, she is also a Massimo coach. So we're blessed to have her as part of our team. The one and only Bobbie Mastracci. Hi, this is Rod Santomassimo, and welcome to the Massimo Show. The objective of the Massimo Show is to share how you can maximize your personal and professional margin. That's right. Let's make more money in less time. Let's turn chaos into clarity, confusion into confidence, and income into real wealth. Along with sharing my insight on how I grew a multi-million-dollar professional business, we will bring you expert advice from various authors, consultants, and industry leaders and provide you the tools you need to build that commercial real estate business and life you have always desired. Welcome to the Massimo Show. Bobbie, welcome to the Massimo Show.
Thank you, Rod. Pleasure to be here.
Oh, so honored to have you on the show, have you as part of the company, but also want to talk about you, about Phoenix, about everything. So let's get started. Bobbie, my first question always is, and you didn't know this, describe high school Bobbie M. What was she like?
High school. Oh my gosh. So fun, athletic. I have always been into working. So I went a half a day to high school, half a day to beauty school, and got my license when I was 18, graduated a half a year early, and went right out into the workforce. So when I wasn't in school, I was working.
And what were you doing as far as working?
So I did McDonald's, and I was the star. So I got to play with all the kids for their birthdays. Then I went into Thrift Drugs as a cashier, and Kathy's Pizza when I was 13, lied about my age to get hired. Yeah.
So you are a serial entrepreneur, correct?
Yes. So my dad was an entrepreneur, my brothers, so it's in the blood.
In the blood. Awesome. So the serial entrepreneur, how does one get in from going from there to getting into commercial real estate?
So I did hair. I was a hair color platform artist. Came out to Arizona, fell in love with Arizona. But while I was doing hair, there was this real estate agent that would sit and work on her contracts. Back in the day, it was all paper. I'm like, one of these days, I'm going to do real estate. 9/11 happened, the economy, everything stopped. So I went to school to get my real estate license. And then when I was in school, there was a guy there and he wanted to do commercial real estate. And I was intimidated because I knew it was harder. I anticipated it to be harder than residential. So I went in and did new home sales for Pulte and learned all about construction from dirt up, and then was recruited up here to Phoenix.
Those are some big jumps that you're taking for granted. So you were a professional hairstylist, but you had visions of one day, because you saw a residential agent maybe doing contracts. 9/11, 2001 occurs. You get educated. You decide to become a broker agent, helping build Pulte homes, learning construction. And then Phoenix Commercial came calling. Is that what happened?
So Randy Bury of Reno Martin Home called me, and through a friend of his, a former sales manager at Pulte, and said, can you come up here, be DB, get us open and running, get our sales office open? And I said, sure, but I heard you are the king of land acquisitions and know everything. So if I come up there, I need to learn land. And he's like, deal. And then when it came time to learn land, the recession hit and nobody had money to do land and development. So what I do, went into land. So I jumped ship and went and worked for Don Bennett Associates, who was the biggest land broker out here in the West Valley of Phoenix, and tried to weasel my way into land. But there was no money, so I went into leasing just to put food on the table.
Right. So at what point did you decide, because you're one of those rare folks, and maybe you know the exact number, I don't, that actually holds a CSIM and an SIOR designation. So why all that education as well?
I am addicted to education and I always want to be the best. So that's why I love working in real estate, because every deal is different. Every day is different. Every minute's different. There's always a fire or a new client or something. So it's exciting. I will tell you, Rod, when I went from no CCIM to getting my designation October 16th, 2008 in Chicago, it was instant respect. As soon as I put that pin on and CCIM after my name, everybody thought I knew everything, and it just changed my whole world. And of course, I got into the CCIM local chapter, was president twice, have sat on every committee and board in the Institute. So it's all what you put into it is what you get out, right? And then I had to get that SIOR. So I did SIOR in 2016. So they look back on like 5 years, you have to make a certain amount.
Yep. So impressive as heck, because I know the portfolio requirements for being first a CCIM, but more so for being an SIOR. And so to say that you've had success in commercial real estate, it would be minimizing it because you had some amazing success. So when did you decide to go off on your own and build your own shop?
As much as I love change in every day, I'm a pretty loyal person. Don Bennett was my mentor. He's like a second father to me. Had people knocking on the doors all the time wanting to hire me. I'd say, Don, I'm going to go talk to the big box and just see what they have to say and offer. But, my heart's here. I'm staying. So I come back and share information with him. But he passed away August 16th, 2012. And I saw the writing on the wall that we weren't going to survive as a brokerage without him. Mm-hmm. And as soon as the funeral was over, the phone was ringing off the hook. And I was like, nobody can give me what I want. So I went in and opened my own brokerage.
It's fantastic. So tell us about your brokerage. Tell us the full name, what you focus on, where you're located. Tell us about your company.
So Phoenix West Commercial, LLC. We are located in Goodyear, Arizona, in the West Valley of Phoenix. Right now, it's a family-owned brokerage. My two boys are both licensed brokers. Eli, who specializes in corporate office, is also being coached by Massimo Group. And then Giuseppe, just at 18, got his license. He's now 19, and he is one of my partners and working side by side, getting deals done. I specialize in a geographic area, which is the West Valley of Phoenix. Being a smaller area, I got to do a little bit of everything, which has helped me through different market cycles. We've been as large as 15 brokers, and we've been as small as 4 brokers. So right now we're at 4. We're going to do a rebrand and a new kickoff in 24 and rebuild the brokerage. Of course, who knows what the market will be like, but there's always opportunity. And we're going to focus on a special cultural niche of brokers, meaning a team player, no cutthroat, and just build wealth within each other and invest in properties together and grow the brokerage. Maybe
awesome.
Start at like 7. I don't need a big brokerage. I just want producers who love the real estate and can act as a team and build wealth for each other. Rising tide floats all boats mentality.
I'm thrilled to hear that. We actually have another client, City Plat, out of Raleigh, Nikita Zikoff, amazing broker, but his team has built the same platform. Mostly young guys and gals. They're focused on brokerage, but they're also focused on number 1A is building their own portfolios through investments. It's a great formula, but you said it yourself. You need the right culture to have that formula work. It doesn't work when you have egos involved. It just doesn't. So I love the fact of what you're building. That's incredible. It's great. And I do believe, as you know, I'm a big proponent that my company is all about coaching brokers. I believe brokers should invest in their craft, not just in education like you, but also like you in actual assets. They should, because commissions are great, but true wealth doesn't just come from commissions. It just doesn't. It comes from properties. Hey folks, Rod Santomassimo with the Massimo Group. And did you know we work with thousands of your commercial real estate peers over the past 15 years now? And we've helped them build the business and the life they've always desired. And yeah, we have programs now for every level of success, experience, and yeah, even budget. So if you're tired of living on that transaction treadmill, of living in the chaos and the whirlwind of commercial real estate, if you want more clarity, more control, and more consistency, and yeah, higher commissions, give us a call. Visit us at www.massimo-group.com. That's www.massimo-group.com and schedule a free strategy session today. So, Bobbie, this is fantastic. Everything you say is so, as the late, great Ralph Spencer used to say, subconscious competence. And that to you, it's nothing. It's like, yeah, I do this. But to others, it's like, oh my God, how does she do this? So let's talk about how you do this. You have this company, you're having your sons involved, you're getting this wealth, but you also CCM, SOR, education, you still work out probably every day. Is that fair to say?
Yeah.
Every day. So what's life like for Bobbie? And yes, I've met your husband, great guy. You're married, family, wife, mother, entrepreneur. How do you do it all? So what's the secret? If there's a secret how you do it all?
Oh, faith. You know me, it's all about God and trusting, always keeping rose-colored glasses. Anybody knows me, it's just the way I look at life. But I think it's all faith. I think getting up at 4 a.m., the 5 a.m. club, I'm sure you've read that book, trying to stay healthy, eat a healthy diet. And I always look for what I can do for others. And I think like most people, when they're out networking, they're taking their stack of business cards and running back and plugging them into their CRM. I go and see how I can help you. Like, who do you need to connect with? If I know somebody, I'll send them your way. And I think just by genuinely wanting to help people, they gravitate towards you and always want to help you. So I think just faith and just watching out for the opportunity and trusting your intuition.
Well, I heard a lot of things there. And so the obvious ones you mentioned, faith, early riser, and then you talked about helping others out. That is what you do. But you didn't mention, but it's threaded in there, right? Obviously, you're a very disciplined person. You are. And that's fine. Look, I wrote a book about this. Discipline is the number one factor in success in commercial real estate. It's the number one factor in success in most things, frankly, discipline. But also you have the commitment. You're committed to commercial real estate. You made a decision while you were coloring hair back in the day to say, that's what I want. And you went out and you got it. And you're phenomenally successful. But Bobbie, I'm going to take you in a different direction because nothing comes easy. It doesn't. I mean, obviously you work hard, you do, and you work long hours, but you're committed to it. But some listeners on this podcast will say, well, her reason for success is because she works hard and commitment. But I know this. Look, we had a tweeting element about this last week. Someone posted that there were reasons, not excuses, but reasons why females cannot be as successful in commercial real estate as males. Okay. I personally think that females are naturally better suited to be successful than males in commercial real estate based on all my studies. And that's, I feel. And I think there are amazing examples, you being one of them, that gender really is not a barrier to success. It's not. So what do you think about that idea that it's harder to be successful as a woman in commercial real estate?
I think the opposite. I think being a female it's a man's world. When I was getting into commercial real estate, I thought it was the market and that's why people didn't call me back, but I didn't give them a choice but to call me back. So I had 5 offers for a job in commercial real estate and picked the one that I felt was best for me. Sometimes, Rod, you'll run into a certain personality that being female is not for them, but bring it on. I find that a challenge. If you're going to oppose me or give me attitude because I'm a female, I'm going to prove you wrong. I think maybe it's fear, but I think we have today with technology and opportunity, we have just as much opportunity as any man does. And you just have to go out there and do it. Knock on doors and talk to people and have a goal.
I love it. Thank you for that answer. Goals. Where do goals fit in both your personal success, in your personal business, and in your team? So how do you weave goals into everything you do?
Gosh, so I always start with the end in mind. I read the last chapter of the book first. I can't get anywhere in life without goals, and you got to write them down. Of course, we always set daily goals. my top 10 list. I have trouble eating that big frog first, to be honest. When I do, I feel really good, just from the top 10 to how many calls, keeping track and scoring. But just like running, right? Got a coach, getting my speed up, getting my miles up, like everything in life. I think you can't get there without a goal. And the ones that think that you don't have to write it down or, it's always there, they're kidding themselves.
And I'm glad you made the last point. My daughter actually asked me, because I walk into my office, there's a whiteboard, and my 5 goals for the next 18 months are on that board. I have 5 goals. And she's like, don't you know your goals? I'm like, oh, yeah, I know them. But every day, someone's got to remind me, oh, yeah, those are your goals. Right. So, yes, you got to write them down and put them visible where you could, again, I make sure I see them every day because I can let other things get in the way, shiny objects. I'm guilty of that. I am. This is awesome. So you mentioned technology. As you know, Massimo is, and mostly because of me, is really driving towards integrating AI, never, ever to replace our amazing coaches, because that's the value we have, is these amazing coaches, but to support them. So do you see AI as an hindrance, as you're not going to touch it, or no, we need to start? So I'm curious what you think.
Oh, I'm glad you mentioned that. So my brother has been into AI his whole life. That's what he studies. He's a robotics engineer and is still in school, always focused on AI. So I thought it was pretty interesting how it evolved from what I thought it was to today. I've been afraid of it. So when we had the pandemic, I wasn't much for these Zoom meetings, and I'm a firm believer I'd rather be face-to-face, pick up the phone, meet with me face-to-face. So technology's been, I'm old school. People tell me I'm old school. But I had a girlfriend of mine come and teach me about AI hand by hand and just introduce me to it, so that with your course AI and what you're showing us AI is all about, I'm now more welcoming AI and excited for it. So she showed me, and one of the girls that was sitting with us, she says, now tell AI you want it in 6th grade level so that it uses everyday conversational words. And they did a paragraph, and then she says, now take that paragraph and put it into 10 social media posts for me. So you got this big paragraph, automatically puts it into 10 posts that you could post. So there's your 2 weeks of posts. So once I learned that you can just take something overwhelming and put it into something so simple, I was hooked. So,
I love that. I love it. And then Sal Khan of the Khan Academy, he's a huge proponent to it as well. He thinks AI will help the educational system, not hinder it. It truly does. I agree. And we will continue to integrate AI in everything we do, because it's going to help our clients get results quicker. And that's what we're looking for. So, Bobbie, you're this amazing success, both in and out of brokerage, right? We talk about discipline, commitment. So when you have someone come to you and say, it happens to me too, and I laugh, and they say, what's the secret to success, Bobbie? What is your secret to success?
Just discipline, consistency, doing it from the heart. It's just me, right? And just really don't give up. Always look for opportunity. With our current markets, like, we have the doom and gloom, shut off the news, right? And just go figure it out, figure out what the big O is. What's that opportunity out there? And just keep driving. Don't stop.
But wait a minute, Bobbie, everything I'm reading, this is the worst time to be a broker. Everything I'm reading, this is the worst time to be a broker. So for you, how's this year going for you?
It's awesome. I think I am so happy the market has shifted, because there's nothing worse than being beat out after LOI, and just the exercise of going through it to now have an opportunity to get your offer accepted or help somebody out. Like right now, I'm looking at notice of sales. That is a great opportunity, one, for a sell leaseback. So now you're helping somebody generate cash flow for their business who may go bankrupt if you weren't there to offer assistance, right? So it's just like, what can you do in the market? I think it's a great time to be a broker.
I hope everyone heard that, because I agree. We find, and Bobbie attends some of these calls, we ask our clients, for me, it's Monday mornings, how's the year going? And they just give us all the great things that are happening around the country that the media generally doesn't give you the view of. Everything is not doom and gloom based on New York or San Francisco. It's a big country and a lot of opportunity, especially in West Phoenix, we're finding out, because Bobbie's having an amazing year. Okay, Bobbie, I can't thank you enough for your valuable time and sharing your insight. So if you had 3 things of advice for anyone, male or female, they're not currently in commercial real estate, like you were, right? You were very successful in what you were doing at a very high level with your hairstylist. You were, but you wanted to change. So what would you tell someone about commercial real estate and what they really need to think about to make a change?
Commercial real estate, it takes a while to get in a rhythm to make money. So be prepared for a good year before you're going to make any money. I would say find a mentor, find somebody that you look up to, and get a coach.
Get a coach. There you go. Reserves, mentor, coach. Bobbie, we cannot thank you enough for your time today. And certainly, I can't thank you enough for being part of the Massimo family and always making it better. So, folks, look, Bobbie dropped a lot of knowledge on you all. As you know, we say here, knowing isn't doing. So it's great what you learn, but you got to go and implement now what you were told, and then you'll find the results. Until next time, this is Rod Santomassimo with The Massimo Show. Hey, that's it. That's a wrap for this episode of The Massimo Show. Once again, hopefully you learned a lot of value provided by our guests, or maybe by me. But the key is this. As we say in Massimo, knowing isn't doing. So don't kid yourself. You have to go out and do the work. You have to implement what you learned if you want to get the results. And please, if you like this episode, please share it. Share it with your colleagues, share it with your friends. Heck, share it with your dog. Just share it. And we look forward to seeing you next time on The Massimo Show.